it's going to be cold, and the rut is going to be great.
Nice Dan, come out, Jason. Some goes around.
I don't care where those bucks are going to come from or where you think they're going to come from. No matter what, they're not going to stop until they get to that downwind side.
Oh, that's a big buck.
Thanksgiving week is here, and it couldn't have arrived at a more perfect time. Let's be honest, there's not one hunter here that would take sitting in the tree stand and catching up with family over a cold November hunt. Luckily, the time off work aligns perfectly with an incredible opportunity. The rut is winding down, but that doesn't mean mature buck movement is. In fact, this Thanksgiving week could be one of the best times to kill one of your hit list bucks. This might just be the perfect excuse to miss Thanksgiving dinner. In states like Texas, a lot of the best hunting is coming in the next few weeks, as the rut starts to wind up down south. For some areas, the week of Thanksgiving and the week following are peak chasing phases to catch those big bucks on their feed, cruising and looking for the first available does. The weather conditions are typically good for deer movement, as the average temperature starts to drop considerably at the end of November and beginning of December. As the temperatures drop and whitetails phase out of the lockdown period of the rut, mature buck movement starts to increase. The Moon Guide has midday activity showing strong over the next week, and the various weather systems moving across the country have the DeerCast and Hunt Stand apps varying in deer movement predictions. Sitting all day can still be productive during this time frame, as mature bucks seek out estrous does. During this phase, we tend to hunt thick funnels and pinch points near known doe family group bedding areas, trying to intercept bucks as they scent check the downwind side. Evening hunts can once again be productive over food sources, as does begin to congregate around our food plots, corn or soybean fields.
I live in Texas very proudly, and we have a lot of whitetail deer here, and as a wildlife biologist, I've had an opportunity to spend a lot of time out studying whitetail deer, but also as a hunter a lot of times. The rut to me is extremely interesting. Now, the reason the rut occurs where it does, wherever that is so that 230 days after that doe has been bred, those fawns are born at the most opportune time as far as available nutrition. It's the reason it occurs when it does. Of course, daylight, changing in daylight, shortening daylight is what triggers all that as well too, for the does to come into heat. In Texas, we have ruts that start, the middle of August, along the Texas coast, close to Victoria and along through the Houston area. Go in a little bit and it can be very drastically changed. In East Texas, the Northeast Texas, a lot of times a rut there occurs. Usually that last week of October. It starts then and runs into maybe the second or so week of November. And deep South Texas, or let's go back to the hill country. A lot of times the hill country is right before Thanksgiving. Now, if you go to deep South Texas, that rut occurs in late December. So when you look at it, that's when 230 days later, the fawns are born, that they have the most nutritious opportunity to survive. Texas is interesting. Lots of ruts, and I dearly love hunting the rut.
During this time frame, it seems like we'll have new bucks pop up on trail cameras as food sources change and deer shift into their winter ranges. One of our favorite tactics during this time frame is finding high-quality food sources that bucks have reopened all the scrapes around. This is typically a sign of two things. A doe is either in estrus or getting close to coming in, and she is frequenting the food source often, or core bucks are coming back into their early fall ranges. This may be the most underrated time of the year to hunt trophy bucks across the country. The 2023 Rut Report is proudly brought to you by these fine partners: Mossberg, since 1919; Taurus, award-winning pistols and revolvers; Pyramid Air, the right products for your needs; Raw Frozen Scents; Habit Outdoors; Forget Genetics; Reveal Cellular Cameras; Spy Point Cameras; Stealth Cam, and Muddy Outdoors.